Hello. This video is to explain why the tarot cards work. So this is for the skeptic as well as the believer. The biggest mystery of the tarot cards has always been, how can a deck of cards predict the future? Now, for the first time in its history, that mystery can finally be explained. And what this new insight does is allow us to look deeper into the application of tarot cards in ways never before thought possible. Once we understand why something works, it opens up the ability to question certain procedures, as well as to improve and innovate certain aspects to create a more effective process. The secret of the tarot has never been in the cards themselves. It's been in their application. We know a lot more about the mind than we did 50 years ago when I first got involved with the tarot. Today, cognitive science can explain applications of thought that are identical to what it is we're doing with these cards. The tarot card reading can now be seen as a creative thinking technique, specifically a creative thinking technique known as conceptual blending. In fact, you cannot do a tarot card reading without using these same exact applications of thought. Creative thinking techniques are used today in all branches of our society, including science, technology, medicine, the arts, and many other subjects. It works by using a basic mental procedure of conceptually blending dissimilar subjects. And this is what we do when we lay a tarot card into an element of a question known as a card position. Each position in a card spread is meant to represent an element of the question that's being looked into. The tarot cards, with their dreamlike images and vague meaning, help spark new ideas about that element of the question they're placed with. This type of thinking process cannot be achieved with conventional thought. So there's three parts to this process. First, the question is broken apart into sections. Sections that represent concerns of the question being looked into. Factors of the question itself, like chapters of a book. A creative consultant might call this mapping out the question. In a card reading, it's called a card spread. Card spreads have positions in them that are meant to be significant to the question being looked into. The next step of the process is adding a random stimulus to the elements and positions of the question. The creative thinker or consultant or even a think tank would achieve this by brainstorming random ideas to add to the elements of the question. Random ideas can come from anywhere, from things found in your top dresser drawer to things you see in the room you're sitting in right now, to things you might find in the desert, or even a random word you place your finger on a page of a book. They're just random. In a card reading, the random ideas are the 78 tarot cards with their dreamlike images that seem to make sense and not make sense at the same time. The tarot is a perfect tool to spark new ideas. The third and final step is where ideas come from. Ideas are found by making associations between the random element with the element of the question it was placed with, like making associations between a tarot card and how it relates meaning to the position it was placed into. Today, this is called conceptual blending. The term conceptual blending just recently became recognized in cognitive science around 1993, but it is something mankind has done since the Stone Age. In fact, making a tool out of a stone would be a good example of how the mind figures out conceptually blended ideas. Conceptual blending is a powerful way to find new ideas. It forces us to make connections between something random to elements of a question being looked into. Whether we make these associations metaphorically, symbolically, looking at physical similarities, or in some other manner, our mind will connect the dots in some way that makes sense to us. In order to do this, we must use our imagination. And imagination is the gateway to our intuition. Conceptual blending opens up our mind to new ideas not normally seen with conventional thinking. It allows us to see things we didn't see before. So first, we break a question apart into elements of importance to look into. A tarot reading does this by using a card spread. Next, we add a randomness to each element of that question. A tarot reading does this by placing tarot cards into the positions of the card spread. This sets up a process that helps us find imaginative and intuitive answers to the question. Conceptually blending the ideas we get from the randomness into the element of the question it's placed with forces the mind to make a connection between the two, to see new answers and insight in relation to that element of the question not previously seen. You cannot do a card reading without using what today are known as creative thinking techniques, a powerful way of finding answers to new objectives to be accomplished. to find answers to challenges that need to be addressed. In other words, to predict the future. Well, thanks for watching. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on this subject or anything about the tarot cards, really, so just feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. I currently have 2 books available on Amazon right now, going to how to read tarot cards, and also talking about why they work. So if you like my books, you can get them on Amazon. If you'd like to get in touch with me through my website's ptishi.com. That's my name. And I'll be happy to hear from you there too. So again, I hope you like this and keep throwing cards. Bye.